It's scary as hell.
Oh, okay.
Like, you see a wall and it's blank. The first day is intimidating. You're just kind of, oh man, how am I gonna do this? You know, it's on a piece of paper and now it's gotta go on a wall. So then you start. And then then once you really get into it, you know, you turn on your music and then you put in 4 hours of work and the 4 hours go by like 30 minutes. And then you look at, okay, so now you have your framework.
Writing my name. Writing my name. Writing my name. And graffiti on the wall.
This one is for them backpacks, L's in them subways. Montana carefree flow with the spray paint. I can recall being younger as a shorty, just working on my letterprint just for the hell of it. Ain't gon' front like I was killing with the art form, but every element we reppin' it through each song. So hold tight and just push it along. So controller, guarantee I'm coming off strong. Word bomb. My man Snotty tell them what it is. We can take it from the shots of where the UK is. If you tryna get lifted, then board the mothership. B-boys, B-girls, all my people getting up on the rooftops. Take heat, watch out for that one time. Try to block your sunshine. I elaborate like the paint on the subway line. Off of one line for your mind, still deliver like the sun times like that.
The past, in the 80s and the 90s, it had a stigma against graffiti. It had a stigma against public art. Graffiti was gang related. You know, anytime a kid went on a wall and wrote something, it was negative.
I don't know. They were doing a lot. Like the stuff that I was seeing was a lot of marker, pen and ink kind of stuff. So the stuff I was doing in the 90s was mascots at my high school.
The only thing that I know about the sign ordinance is that it is designed in part to control billboards and advertising. So that's where it starts. It's not really designed to stop murals. It's just that's what's on the books, and I think there is a need to edit that to be more pro community artists and more pro public art.
I like the wow factor of mural work the most. When you're up on a ladder or a scaffolding or even down on the ground and someone comes around the corner or in the door and they look up and they just get that wow in their eyes.
I just think it's fun, to be honest, like just having your artwork seen by that many people. I feel like having it on a piece of paper, you can only do so much. Like you can scan it and like blow it up, but it's not the same as like painting on a giant wall, you know, for everyone to see. And I feel like a part of me kind of creates artwork for other people. So when I put it up on a wall in a mural, it's for everyone, not just myself. So it's kind of been like a dream of mine just to work really big. You know, I've seen like other muralists or artists working giant scale. It just kind of seems like bigger than life, bigger than you. No, I have a sketch. I do have a sketch, but I never really follow it 100%. I feel like if you follow something like 100%, it's kind of like copying an image, like a photograph. It's kind of like pointless to like exactly copy it. It won't like translate.
I do tattoos, I do graphic design, you know, and then I do murals and I do clothing. My mantra is passion is the ashes of a burning desire.
So many people go to Pilsen or Little Village and they see the voice of the community in colorful art all over the walls. Nobody needs to know what the schedule of a gallery is or know where to go. They can just drive around the neighborhood and they see this artwork. And really all over Chicago, all over all of these cities, they see public art, and it expresses the voice, it expresses the lens and the perspective of the people that are there, and it's beautiful, and it draws people there, and it makes the community, I think, have a sense that it is their space.
Because you got people walking down the street, and especially in these lower served communities, these communities need positive messages because these kids are growing up into that. So you will want, and if you go into any other big city, they have murals because it changes lives. Like if you put positive messages on these buildings, these kids see that.
Public art and in that sense, large format pieces can definitely become sort of destinations and sort of wayfinding points for people. It contributes to the placemaking of towns, cities, and then, you know, it kind of gets folded into the stories that people tell, and I think it really does contribute to the just overall economy because it becomes a place for people to tell their friends about, and then also go to the bar, the store, XYZ. So I think it really just contributes to that overall sort of cultural vibe, I guess you could say.
I was kind of worried. I think when I started my art career, I was a little like, I don't know, I didn't want to be cliche and I want to move to California because there's so many walls and opportunity. I felt like there was always opportunity here, but I just never really saw that. But recently things have really been picking up. I think the community has really seen what artwork can and do for the people, and I don't know, it just gives out that certain energy of positivity, and I'm just really glad it's really taken off and everyone's kind of putting their part to make it grow, and I think it's really helping out the city and people who visit and pass by, and it just helps the city overall.
Public art is, for its outdoor project, is really just getting started. And we have a very small department with a modest budget. So we're kind of looking for a density here to say, here we are, here's what we can do for the community, and then growing and branching out into the neighborhoods. We hired 12 local artists, and they got paid to paint these specific boxes. We put it out to local businesses to sponsor. So most of the boxes are sponsored by local businesses. It really gave a sense to residents and regional visitors to downtown that public art is happening in Aurora. Between 2017 and 2019, we've put up something like 5 or 6 murals. Some of them were privately initiated and paid for. For those murals, what I'm doing as the public art director is I am assisting, without opinion, these private proposals through this 5 or 6 step approval process. So things go through the public art department, whether they're private or public. Then they go through the Aurora Public Art Commission, which is a 9-resident board of artists and non-artists, and they vote on it. It goes to the mayor to see that it is, the mayor's office does a check to see if it is if it is cohesive with the rest of the plans for downtown. Then it goes to the development services team to make sure that the zoning is okay and historical regulations are met. And then it goes to the Fox River Design Committee. And then it goes to City Council Subcommittee, which is the BZE Committee, the Building, Zoning, and Economic Development. So the first time this was done in 2018 or 2017, it took maybe 9 months. So what I'm trying to do as the public art director is just bulk these proposals and take them through each one and see what we can get done as quickly as possible.
It's one thing to design something that, the work that happens kind of backstage, behind the scenes, on the computer or at the drawing table. That can often be sort of maybe lonely work, but there's a lot of levers and switches that have to kind of, go together to make that happen. But once it finally gets to this point, and after there's a lot of meetings, there's a lot of public discourse, there's a lot of city council, all this kind of stuff, the building owners, all that kind of stuff. But the most fun to me, once that's all out of the way, is when people are walking by and friends just show up, and you can put out invitations and kids can come by and pick up a paintbrush, and then it turns into a much more interesting project that way. Many hands make light work, that phrase. The teamwork and the involvement, and then the ownership that happens because of that, because other people that do A friend of ours, Jason Delancey, came by with his daughter. Last night there were a few people that came by. Their kids got up, you know, and put some paint on the wall, and so then there's a real connection that's made with the physicality of it. I think that's honestly that's truly my favorite part of this kind of public art process and project.
The building owner, Ernesto, his daughter, I'm friends with her. She got in contact. She knew, because at the time I think I was posting on like social media that like I want to do like big mural works, just kind of throwing it out in the universe. And I think pretty soon, like within a month, she messaged me and said like, hey, you know, I got a wall. My dad owns this building over here. Just the only thing that they wanted is just make it like Mexican themed. I'm like, all right, cool. I think that following night or like the next night, I just sketched something up. It just came to me, I guess, just a bunch of cool looking things, just blobbed all together in my style. But that one didn't really change at all. I think I submitted that one to him and he liked it right away, and we got started on it. And yeah, very little like change there in the sketch of that. If you look at the actual like original and then the one that's on the mural, the only thing that kind of changed is like it kind of like looks wider to fit the wall. But other than that, it's pretty similar. I mean, some days it was nice, like the river was like not too bad, but like I don't know if you remember, but last year it rained a lot, so that was no fun at all. And like the floor is really uneven, like it's like slippery, it's muddy. It just wasn't safe, to be honest. Like if it was like monitored like an actual official, I don't think it would have gotten through the process. So I got really lucky. I didn't actually like fall. Like the last 2 days when I had the giant 40-foot ladder, the actual ladder was in the river. Like I couldn't even see the bottom like 2 inches. So it was really unsafe on my part. But I just said like, whatever. If I fall, it's for art. So, but like if you're on the street driving, it kind of like you can kind of see like the eagle popping out, which is kind of interesting. So it makes for like a cool Easter egg for people who are like walking on the street. So kind of gives people who are actually walking around the neighborhood more to appreciate. Like, oh, like I would have never noticed this. You know, I've had numerous people come up to me like, oh, I just realized that mural was there. So it's a cool Easter egg. I feel like from my point of view, if I was walking around and bumped into something I never saw, like it'd make me want to walk around the city more. So.
Well, basically what the city supports and also what the city will allow to go through these commissions can't be hate speech and it can't be obscene. That's basically it.
Okay.
As the public art director, as I write this public art master plan that I've been working on, I see it as it's sort of a Rubik's Cube. You know, it's this multi-layered puzzle of how can we do the best thing for our community. Aurora deserves the best. We're a great city. I'm in love with this city since I was a little kid. One concept that I'm really interested in is when you look from one vantage point, you can see several buildings at once. Can we have some interconnectedness across those projects? Can we have something that's sophisticated? It doesn't matter who does them. Most of the projects that are done here are going to be done by the local artists who receive these RFPs and who are deeply invested in the city. We're just, you know, it's a balance mostly of supporting our community, promoting their voice, their lens, and then also having a little bit of marketing to bring people to be paying these tax dollars, supporting our businesses, most of whom are minority small business owners in the downtown. So we kind of want to do all of these things at once. You know, what can we put on the street? What can we put for you to find little connections in the murals? How can we make our sculptures climbable so that families can enjoy them? How can we incorporate augmented reality so you have a free app on your phone where you can hear educational material, maybe locally recorded music, different sort of three-dimensional design elements that are added to the mural. Like how many levels of media can we use to engage our community to make this a deeply engaging experience over the next 5 years?
I feel like this has been a process. You know, it's a at this point, it is actually decades long process, which is kind of wild. So yeah, I really like to contribute to the overall story of Aurora in the way that I can with the skills and abilities that I have. So yeah, I feel very lucky to be able to do that for sure. It's great. It's really cool.
I met Josh through a community meeting, put on by Jen Evans, and Jen was like, hey, does anyone have any ideas? I'm like, look, this is what we need to do. We need to start having art jams. All the artists come in, you bring a couple of your pieces, couple of my pieces, and then, say I'm working on this piece and I can't like finish it. It's just not looking right. But then another artist, oh, just put green over there. This is what I did. This is a technique I know. So then you're starting to like mix the flavors and get different ideas. And Josh was sitting right next to me and he looked over at me and said, you know what, that's a good idea. Let's just start having art parties. Do you want to come help and assist me with an art project? And I'm just like, sure. Turns out it's at Treadwell Coffee. And I get there, I didn't really know much about it. And it's a huge One Love community mural, heart busting out in flames. Beautiful piece of art. And me and Josh, we sat there for 3 days and had the best times of our life. Just talking, listening to music, and I just met him 3 days ago. I would have never met Josh, if I wasn't in that meeting. And it's beautiful. And I just talked to Josh today and I told him, I was like, you know what? I get a really good feeling anytime I drive by that mural. It really makes me feel really good.
While we have very few people on city staff who are even involved in this at all, the more people that come from the community to help and to express a need and a desire for something a little bit different, the more we can get that done.
There are so many walls in downtown Aurora. There's so many opportunities. I've seen Aurora as a blank slate, a tabula rasa kind of situation, a white canvas, whatever you want to say. For many years, I've kind of looked at Aurora as just always having this potential. I meet so many people that really feel the same way. They come into Aurora, they just get this energy about wanting to do something, to contribute.
I think that the future for Aurora art scene, a great way to build it would be community-based projects, meaning you go into every neighborhood, not just the downtown area, not just the west side. Go over to the east side neighborhoods and get those kids that need that guidance, that get those kids that need that mentor, that need a way out, Because they're the ones suffering. They're the ones that are lacking the resources, the real resources.
I just want to see more. There's just so much available. Like I said, there are so many canvases and so many artists in Aurora right now that really, it could really just transform in not that long. Like in the next 3 years, it could be a totally different world down here. It really could be a really large outdoor gallery of local artists, regional artists, international artists. It really could be a destination of its own, like an art mecca.
Let's do it, and change the narrative, because like like everyone knows it. The west side is a good side, the east side is a bad side. The west side has better funding, the east side has no funding. And we can take it deeper than that, but we're gonna leave it there, right? But it's all Aurora, and these kids need opportunity so that they could love their city. And then you don't have people that feel like they don't want to participate. You'll have people that want to be like, you know what, I want to represent my family, I want to represent my community, I want to do good.
The amount of talent that's just right here in the Fox Valley it's really pretty awesome. So I would like to see that, bloom.
I was downtown the day of, I think it was June 1st, when all the artists went down there and were creating on the walls. Yeah. And then Jen, she was like, you want another wall? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, you want another spot? And I was like, yeah, just because it's like this art needs to get out and the messages needs to get out. These stories need to get told. But at the same time, it's not always been like that. This is just 2020, you know, and I think that people, they think they're like, oh, Tyler, he's doing all this stuff. It's just like, no, all these opportunities are just kind of now coming because people see that I'm willing to do the work and it's good work and I don't come on no negativity, you know.
You know, that was an incredible experience. That's probably the highlight of my 3 years here in public art, is doing the boarded over windows after the looting. That was incredible because people just came out, they donated their time, they donated their skills, we got together. We all went to the bar outside, socially distanced, 2 days after the project was done. And there was incredible camaraderie and love and passion and just, you know, delight at being able to just do stuff, even though none of the artists got paid. I'd like to see that kind of program. I guess what I can say about that is my ears are wide open to any ideas, any examples from other cities. It doesn't need to have been done already in another city. We can create something of our own. I'm not here to figure everything out and deal it out. I think most of my job is listening, and I don't know. I guess is my answer, but I want to know. I want some ideas, and whatever I can do to take these great ideas from the artist side and, you know, format them to make them okay with the city. And maybe that, like I said, is like temporary plywood murals. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. We can really advance the independence of public art here if artists are participating and in building strategy and change for what is allowed in Aurora. Yeah, your voice is wanted. It's needed.
Writing my name. Writing my name. Writing my name. And graffiti on the wall.
This one is for them backpacks, L's in them subways. Montana carefree flow with the spray paint. I can recall being younger as a shorty, just working on my letter brand just for the hell of it. Ain't gon' front like I was killing with the art form, but every element we reppin' it through each song. So hold tight and just push it along. So controller, guarantee I'm coming off strong. Word bomb. My man Snotty, tell them what it is. We can take it from the shots of where the UK is. If you tryna get lifted, then board the mothership. B-boys, B-girls, all my people getting up on the rooftops. Take heat, watch out for that one time. Try to block your sunshine. I elaborate like the paint on the subway line. Off of one line for your mind, still deliver like the sun times like that.